As we join you at 4 o'clock, President Donald Trump in North Texas. He is campaigning and visiting. The president on his way right now to Johnson County, where he will visit the newly opened Louis Vuitton workshop.
And a little bit later, he's going to be holding a rally in Dallas at the American Airlines Center, where some supporters have been there in line for 2 days already. This is a live picture right now. The doors there are going to be opening at the AAC a little bit earlier. You could see in this video people waiting in line for their chance to get inside.
He's not the only presidential campaign in town today, though. Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke is holding a rally that'll happen later on at the theater in Grand Prairie this evening. We have team coverage of the dueling rallies, those supporting their candidates and those who will protest as well. Let's begin this afternoon with our Ken Molestina in Alvarado, not too far from that Louis Vuitton workshop where the president is going to visit. Ken?
Yeah, Doug, just a couple of miles actually up from up the road. I want to show you kind of what has happened here, because this has been taking place for the last couple of hours here. You've got Trump supporters over here on the side of the road. Presumably, they are honking their horns here, and they're going to try and get as much attention as they can from folks passing by. On the other side of the road here, these are Trump supporters. And again, this is just up the road from the ranch, the Rochambeau Ranch, where he will be visiting. You know, it's a long, winding, narrow road to get down there that takes you into the area of the Rochambeau Ranch where the Louis Vuitton workshop is located. You can't get too far down that road before you hit a roadblock. Earlier, we did see some empty motorcade vehicles with a police escort. They drove right past us. They went right in towards the ranch. Presumably, they will be in place in case the president or any other dignitary may need to be transported by ground. But as far as we know, the president will be flying in here on a helicopter, leaving the same way. We spoke to both supporters and protesters today who showed up to voice their opinions on the president himself and on his visit. Have a listen.
The majority of us here love him and support him and want him in there for 4 more years. We need him in there for 4 more years.
My motivation is to show Texas and the rest of the nation that not every part of rural Texas is as uniformly red and Republican as we may have been led to believe.
So the president's visit here, we're told it's not going to last that long. He's going to participate in the ribbon cutting ceremony over at the Louis Vuitton workshop. He's going to shake some hands, visit with some folks, then he's going to head out of here once again via helicopter over to Dallas Love Field. From there, he will be transported by ground over to the American Airlines Center for the Keep America Great rally. But again, as you can see, this is a small town out here in Johnson County, Alvarado, and a lot of people excited just to have a presidential visit. We're in Alvarado. Ken Molestina, CBS 11 News.
Ken, thank you. And as Kim mentioned, President Trump next heads to the American Airlines Center in Dallas for his Keep America Great rally tonight. Political reporter Jack Fink there spoke with supporters. Jack, what do they have to say?
Well, Brooke, I can tell you that President Trump supporters just started entering the American Airlines Center about an hour ago, and behind me you can see the podium where the president is set to speak shortly after 7 o'clock. You know, a lot of these supporters started showing up very early, some of them 2 days ago, so waiting to get inside is something that they have especially wanted to do. The American Airlines Center is preparing for 20,000 supporters inside tonight. The Trump campaign played live music and had food trucks stationed outside. Lots of vendors selling Trump hats, shirts, and buttons. Supporters have come from different states, including Nevada and Utah, to name a few. It's the president's 6th trip to Texas this year. Supporters say they love seeing the big crowds.
When I first pulled up and saw all these people, it makes me proud, because all I'm surrounded with is patriots, people that love America. And that's the reason I feel proud to be a part of this, and definitely proud to be a Trump supporter.
It was important for us to be here to show our support that for this president, to let him know we're with you. We love you. We support you. We're behind you. Thank you for keeping your promises.
Well, Texas is very important for President Trump's re-election. Without this state, there is no path for him to win again. The president says he is not taking Texas for granted. So what do his supporters say about his chances next year? We'll get into that coming up at 5. Live in Dallas, Jack Fink, CBS 11 News.
Jack, thank you. Look forward to talking to you at 5 o'clock. Meanwhile, outside the American Airlines Center, a whole lot of people waiting to get inside where Jack is. We've got Jason Allen in the crowd just outside the entrance this afternoon. Jason?
Doug, obviously you have a number of streets that are closed around the AAC right now. We've got a big law enforcement presence, as you would expect with any visit from the president. A number of streets on all sides around are closed. Continue to see some people, as Jack mentioned. The doors had opened maybe an hour or so ago, and they've been filing in here on the side and also in the main entrance. And there are still people who are funneling this way, and they're walking around the corner to get to the doors and to get in line. And right down there, that is what they see. And when they see that, there are a lot of exclamations, a lot of oh no's and a lot of uh-ohs and a lot of other things that we can't see. But as you see some of these people who are going to walk in front of us on the way to the line right now, and we can just go to the left, and you see these people in the red shirts, they're not turning around. They are taking a shot at going ahead and getting in that line, and they all say that if they don't get inside, then they can just watch what's going on maybe from the big monitors that are out here in the plaza. Have not seen any protests out here today. However, the Democrats, the county Democrats, did make a show out here today, and this is how they reacted to the size of the crowd that has been here to come see President Trump.
Make no mistake about it, Donald Trump would not be doing one of these campaign rallies on this scale in Dallas, in Texas, if he was not scared and he did not know that the biggest battleground in the United States this year is Texas.
So County Judge Clay Jenkins also going on to say that when he looks at this crowd out here, in his mind, he doesn't think that most of these people are actually from Dallas. Doug and Brooke.
All right, Jason, thank you. In Grand Prairie, Democratic presidential hopeful Beto O'Rourke staging a counter rally. Caroline Vandergriff live at the theater in Grand Prairie. Caroline, what's the crowd looking like there?
Well, the event is set to begin in just about 2 hours, and there are a couple dozen supporters and volunteers here waiting to get in. Beto O'Rourke is calling this a rally against fear. The former congressman from El Paso and the Democratic presidential hopeful says he wants to directly confront what he calls the president's hatred and racism. Tonight's lineup includes a variety of musicians, Democratic candidates for Senate, local activists, and faith leaders. O'Rourke says everyone is welcome here to stand up against fear, hatred, and racism. Now, this is the second time this year O'Rourke has directly countered a Trump rally with an event of his own.
This rally is very important to people, and I think it's very brave of Beto to come up with a competing rally, a place for us to go, a safe place for us to go, rather than the chaos that will be downtown.
The venue holds a little more than 6,000 people, and doors here should open up in about an hour. Live in Grand Prairie, I'm Caroline Vandergriff, CBS 11 News.
Caroline, thanks. And we are going to have continuing coverage of both rallies throughout this newscast as well as online, CBSDFW.com.